Hi everyone, welcome back to Essy Cooks. I believe this is episode 5 now of weekly healthy meal prep. So we are prepping breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the week. So we've been doing this for weeks and weeks now, and this is such a great way to get yourself off to a healthy start for the week. So we're going to start by making this high protein Apple Cinnamon Baked Oatmeal, which is so delicious for breakfast. We can make it high in protein. And then for lunch, we're going to be having this delicious maple glazed tofu with roasted broccoli and crispy potatoes. This is a fully vegan, dairy-free meal prep, and we can easily make this gluten-free as well if you like. Now for dinner, I don't like to have the same thing every single day for dinner. So usually what I do is batch make something like this. These are creamy miso chickpeas with harissa. They're honestly so good. But usually what I'll do is I'll batch make something like this for dinner that is going to be freezer friendly so that I can have it one night and save some for the following week. So after a few weeks, you kind of stock up on a variety of different things in the freezer, which is so great to add a little spice, little variety to your life. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is marinate the tofu. So I have 3 blocks of tofu here. Now I'll just let you know I am making 4 meals for 2 people, so 8 meals total. So if you're just making this for one person, you can use 1.5 blocks of extra firm tofu or 2 blocks if you want to get even more protein in there. I'm going to cut it into nice little steaks, slabs, whatever you want to call them, and I'm going to cut in some nice little crosshatch patterns. Now, just depending on the size of your tofu brick, they might not come out in this exact shape. That's totally fine. Just cut them into about 10 slices per block. Should do it 8 to 10, whatever you're doing there, and we'll divvy them up later on. Now we'll cut some nice little crosshatch patterns into the tofu. So basically we don't want to cut all the way through, just cut in about half of the way, going diagonal one way and then diagonal the other way. So this is just going to help the marinade to absorb. Also, if you freeze and thaw your tofu, that's also going to help the marinade absorb. So if you have the time, I would recommend that. If you don't have time to marinate your tofu for a few hours, that's fine as well, but it is more flavorful when we let it marinate. So here we go. So per block of tofu, I'm going to put 1/4 cup of maple syrup, which I know sounds like a lot, but per meal it's really not a lot. So that was 3/4 cup there of maple syrup. Then we have a tablespoon of smoked paprika per block of tofu, so 3 tablespoons of smoked paprika and 3 tablespoons of garlic powder. The recipe is all on the blog as well if you want to check that out if this is getting confusing for the measurements. Then 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce per block of tofu, so 6 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. I don't know why that took so long. I was just thinking about something else. Okay, we're going to start by whisking that all together. This is our beautiful marinade. Make sure you get in all the corners so there's not any powder left, and this is perfect. We're going to add our tofu right in there to marinate. I actually let mine marinate for a few hours because I had the time. So just kind of open up those crosshatch patterns to make sure the marinade's getting all in there. I have a shallow dish here, but it wasn't big enough to fit all the tofu, so I just kind of flip them around a few times. Now, this extra firm tofu that I got is not as firm as the other brand that I normally get, which is totally fine, but a couple pieces did fall apart, and that was still fine. They tasted amazing. Now we're going to get started on our apple baked oatmeal. My husband's here putting on a little show. Yay, my guest star. A little helping me out to meal prep this week, which is amazing. Now we're going to add in 2 cups of either quick oats or rolled oats. You can choose whatever you like, whatever you have. We're going to put that directly into a baking dish here. Now, it's optional if you want to add protein powder in here as well for extra protein. That is 100% up to you. I like to have a protein smoothie as well, so sometimes I don't even add protein powder in here, but I am going to add a little bit today. So you can add about 3 scoops of protein powder, a tablespoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, 3 to 4 tablespoons of ground flax. You could use chia instead if you want, or even both if you want. You can totally play around with this. These bake up so easily. Now, I'm going to add 2 cups of plant milk in there. I'm using a protein plant milk just like for a little bit of extra boost, but you can use any milk you like. Any kind will work. And then we're just going to mix that all together with a 1/3 cup of peanut butter and a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup to add a little bit of sweetness in there. We made homemade peanut butter. It's honestly so good in the food processor with 1 ingredient. If you want to see that recipe, please let me know. Okay, I'm adding in that 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. Gonna mix that all together, and my husband is sous chefing to the side here. So he's cutting up the apples for me into cubes. So I'm gonna add 2 cubed apples right into the mixture. and we're going to save another 2 apples for the topping. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that into the oven at 350 for around 35 to 40 minutes or until it's cooked through. Now those other 2 apples are going to go into a small saucepan. We're going to throw that on medium heat with a few other ingredients, and that is going to be our topping. We're making like stewed apples, which they release pectin when you cook them, so they're super good for your gut. So I'm adding a tablespoon of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and just a little bit of water, 2-3 tablespoons of water in there as well. I'm going to bring those to a boil, and then I'm going to cook them down for around 5 to 10 minutes until they're cooked all the way through. I'm going to reduce that to a nice simmer so that they're not like rapidly boiling like this anymore. And you'll know they're done when they look like this. Look how beautiful. They're actually so tasty. There's a little bit of liquid in there because I left the lid on, and that's totally fine. Now for our potatoes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 potatoes for the 2 of us. I thought about 1 potato per day plus a little bit of extra, just so that my husband can have a little bit extra there. So he's juggling up those potatoes, and wow, nailed it again. Okay, so we're going to be cubing up those potatoes, and I have broccoli here. Now, if you want, you can use fresh broccoli. It's always better than frozen, but I just had frozen broccoli, and it's easier, it's cheaper, all those things. So I'm just going to be using that. So about 1 cup of broccoli per serving, so I used about 8 cups of broccoli here. It's a little bit crowded on the pan. It did release a bit of water, but I just poured that water off and kept roasting, and they did come up fairly crispy. So yeah, trying to fit about 8 cups of broccoli in there for our lunch meal prep. And I'm going to season those with a few things. Now, you could actually bake them in the oven first and then add the seasonings in a little bit if you wanted to. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon or 2 of extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of Italian seasoning, maybe about 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to add some seasoning salt, which makes this taste so good if you have it. Just regular salt works too. And pepper. But honestly, seasoning salt is like the magic ingredient for this kind of meal. I don't know why, it just complements it so well and makes it taste so good. So I'm going to toss that around the broccoli on this large baking sheet. Make sure all the broccoli is covered, and my husband's there showing how small he cubed the potatoes because we want them to cook kind of at the same rate of the broccoli. So the oven is going to need to be at 400 degrees. Right now it's at 350 for the oatmeal bake, so just something to keep in mind. Usually I'm trying to do my meal prep in 1 hour. This one just doesn't really work because we need the oven at different temperatures. So sorry about that. If you want to see more meal preps, that are 1 hour, I definitely have those. You can check out the Essy Cooks blog as well. And my little girlie there, she got a chickpea. Don't worry, we washed our hands and we're back to it. So I'm going to rinse off some chickpeas to make my miso and harissa creamy chickpeas. So I've got 2 cans of chickpeas here. Once again, this is like a double batch of the recipe. I'm going to rinse those 2 cans of chickpeas really thoroughly, and then my husband's going to do the drill here with the potatoes. So same thing as the broccoli. 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, about 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, lots of fresh ground black pepper, and a little bit of seasoning salt. Toss that all together to combine, and that's going to be going in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes. We're going to flip halfway, and you just want to see how they're coming along. I mean, you want them to be cooked all the way through. Sometimes the broccoli's ready a little bit sooner than the potatoes. Sometimes it's not. Just keep an eye on everything. Once 15 minutes passes, start checking every 5 minutes just to see where things are at. Sometimes I find with the potatoes, they're just like not crispy enough because I've packed the sheet pan a bit too tightly. Then what I do is I just broil the tops of them for a few minutes to make them nice and crispy on high, but keep a careful eye if you do that at the end. Now my apple topping is going to go directly on top of my oatmeal bake here, and I've bumped the oven up to 400 degrees. Now I've got 4 or 5 cloves of garlic here. I'm just going to remove the peels on those, and I'm just going to mince them or mash them up here in my pestle and mortar. And my husband is just nicely dicing up a large yellow onion for me, about half a large yellow onion. Now I've got another pot, a large pot on medium heat. I'm going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and then I'm going to add in all of that onion that is finely diced. This is going to add so much flavor to these chickpeas, but I mean, honestly, every ingredient we're adding in here is going to add in so much flavor. I'm going to cook those down for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then I'm going to add in the garlic from earlier, and I'm going to cook that down for around 1 minute, just until everything is nice and fragrant. And then I'm going to add in harissa, which which is the magic ingredient. I'm going to add about 1 heaping tablespoon per serving. So in this case, it's double batch, 2 heaping tablespoons. And as I was doing this, I don't know what happened, just slipped out of my hand, but don't worry, we are going to make use of this. We are going to clean this off. And yeah, so I'm going to get all the harissa out of my jar. Basically, that was what I had left. Oh, the harissa paste is honestly so good in here. If you love harissa, make sure to try this out. It is so delicious. If you don't have harissa, please let me know in the comments. I can give you some sort of alternate ingredients that you can put in instead of the harissa paste to make it still taste super delicious. Now, I just put a little bit of water in there because I didn't want to waste any, and I wanted to rinse it out really well and throw it right into the pot. So I've got that pot on medium heat. Now miso, these are miso chickpeas. So I'm going to need 2 heaping tablespoons of miso for this double batch. Now that's my shiro miso, which is honestly my favorite. The flavor is A++. But I ran out, so luckily I had another miso on hand and I was able to use that for my second tablespoon. Now I'm going to add those chickpeas right in, give those a nice little mixy mix with all of our seasonings, these flavors. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. I could not wait to eat this. I'm going to give this a really good cook. Make sure nothing is sticking on the bottom of the pan. Right now I've got it at medium heat, but once I add in the coconut milk, I'm actually going to bump that up to high heat, just bring it to a boil, and then reduce it to a simmer. So now I need my coconut milk. So I've got 2 cans of full fat coconut milk. The full fat coconut milk is so good in here to make it super decadent and creamy and all of those good things. This is such a great flavor. So I've got 2 cans there. Like I said, I'm going to bring that to a boil and then I'm going to reduce it to a simmer. So it's going to seem liquidy at first, but don't worry, it will reduce. That's why I kind of like to leave the lid off and keep the fan on as well, just to let a little bit of that steam out, let that reduce really nicely, and we're going to let that cook. I mean, you can let it cook for around 10 minutes. If you have a little bit more time to let it simmer longer, even better. Just reduce that to a nice simmer and keep an eye, stir it occasionally. Now we're going to need a few big handfuls, probably like 4 big handfuls of spinach, and my husband's just chopping that up for me. Now I'm checking on the broccoli and potatoes and flipping those just to make sure everything's good there. I had some cilantro to add on here too, so he's chopping that up for me as well. I'm going to put the stems right in because I like them to cook a bit. I don't like to throw them out, but it's totally optional, totally up to you. So those are the stems from my cilantro, and then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. If you're gluten-free, just switch that out for tamari. That is totally fine. And now for the maple glazed tofu. I totally forgot to tell you earlier in the marinade that we had soy sauce in the marinade as well. Please check that full recipe. I'm going to put that up at the screen at the start of the video as well so that you don't miss it.
Do you want to try it?
Okay, as always, when you're cooking, taste as you go and make sure it doesn't need any additional seasonings or you don't need to change anything on it. Now, for the maple glazed tofu, make sure that you're cooking those until they're nice and golden brown and a little bit crispy on the edges, usually around 4 to 5 minutes per side, depending on how hot your pan is. So keep an eye on those. I'm cooking those in batches. I am stirring the miso chickpeas. I'm stirring everything we're roasting in the oven and flipping the maple glazed tofu. So my maple glazed tofu actually had a little bit of leftover marinade after I cooked them all. So hang on to that. Don't throw that away because we're going to be putting that on top once they're cooked. See how they're nice and browned, a little bit charred even. I quite like. They're good to cook in the cast iron as well. Now, look at how much the miso chickpeas have really thickened up. They're pretty much done. So all I have to do is add in that chopped spinach from earlier, cook that down for around 1 minute, and then that spinach will be cooked. It does not take long for chopped spinach to cook, and we're sneaking in our greens, and it took like such minimal effort, which I absolutely love. Now to finish it off, we're going to add in some nutritional yeast. 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, or grated Parmesan cheese works great as well. We're going to add in some fresh ground black pepper, taste it to see if it needs salt. I felt like mine just didn't even need salt because of the other ingredients. And then we're going to finish it off with some lemon juice. If you have fresh, great. If you don't, you can just use lemon juice out of the bottle. It really brightens it up and tastes super delicious. So now Everything is cooked up. Actually, I did throw those potatoes, like I said, into the oven and let them broil, but I'm keeping a really close eye on them to make sure they don't burn because I wanted to really crisp up the top. They just weren't crispy enough, so I broiled on high for a few minutes, flipping them, making sure all sides were crispy. Now we're divvying up that meal prep and I'm putting that leftover marinade right on top of the tofu, like I mentioned earlier. Yum. So look at these beautiful miso chickpeas. Those are ready to go, and like I said, we'll probably eat half, maybe with some naan, maybe with some rice, maybe with some quinoa, couscous, who knows, and freeze half of them for later. Now look at our maple glazed tofu. So delicious. You can even put ranch on top of here if you like, and that makes it taste so good. It's totally up to you. So here's the whole batch. We have this beautiful apple baked oatmeal. This is the perfect thing if you have old or leftover apples sitting in your fridge because you're cooking them anyway. So if they're a bit soggy, you will not notice. Like, it's just the perfect way to use up your apples. Works good with fresh, crisp apples too. Whatever you like. It's so delicious. I absolutely love this one. And then we have our beautiful lunch ready to go. I like to reheat this one. Some things are good eaten cold. This one I prefer reheated. Personal preference. But I hope you have been loving all of these videos. If you like these videos, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button below for more videos like this. We're going to keep coming out with more meal prep videos. So if you have any requests, please let me know in the comments below. And once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're looking for the recipes, they're in the description below, and you can also go ahead and check out essycooks.com for more recipes like this. All right, a little bonus footage if you wanted to see what we did with those miso chickpeas. We ended up serving them up with some basmati rice, and I don't think I showed it here, but we had some whole grain roti to serve with it as well, which adds a little bit of extra protein from the whole grain, but it's so good with the white rice. Look at how delicious and creamy and amazing those chickpeas are. And then, of course, we added that fresh cilantro from earlier on top. And I had some pickled red onions in the fridge, which I would highly recommend on here. They just added that little something that it was missing. All right, thanks again so much for watching.